LSU in white, the Lions in green. And we are underway as Will Baker wins the tip for the Tigers. LSU is coming off a loss on the road. Williams uses a pick, takes it down inside, scoops with the right hand and scores.
Well, other than the tip, only one Tiger touched the ball in that possession. That's Williams. We got a nice screen up top, and Baker was able to drive the lane.
Here's the Southeastern lineup: Eastman, McFarland, Woodard, Robury, and Caldwell. It's the third time this year that the Lions have used this starting lineup.
Caldwell was able to get his way into the lane and get that bucket for the Lions.
10 on the shot clock. Nobody down low. A three ball from the outside is good. Ripped home by Tyrell Ward, a 6'6" sophomore from Washington, D.C. And Victor, three-point shooting has not been good for LSU this year. Here's a three ball from the left side. That one is banged down by Alec Woodard. Here's the LSU lineup, and this is the first time that this quintet has been together on the floor at the start of the game. Williams, Wilkinson, Reed, Ward, and Baker. Here's another three ball.
Here in the first 1 minute and 20 seconds of the ball game, LSU has matched the number of made three-pointers they had at Syracuse, where they went just 2 of 22. And it was the first time in 3 years that they shot less than 10% from the three-point line, and already they've taken 2 and hit 2.
Well, so far, nobody is missing much. LSU, the last 2 games, just 6 of 36 from outside the arc, but a much better start tonight.
Quite honestly, the three-point shot is something the Lions are looking to improve on as well. They've had their struggles throughout the first part of the season from deep.
Shot clock at 4. Fadeaway three-pointer comes up a little bit short. Offensive rebound by LSU, and that's a big one by Wilkinson to keep this possession alive. Reed stepped on the baseline and gives it up. Here's David Kiefer in his 5th season as Southeastern Louisiana's head coach. 20 games under 500, but a lot of that, Victor, is because they play a murderous schedule outside of the Southland Conference.
Yeah, this season is a great example. 3 of the first 12 games are played in Hammond, so 9 of them are on the road. They've already been out west for a big swing here in Baton Rouge. They're going on the road again. They'll stay on the road, actually, with this. They're going to make their way up to Ruston. They're going to be at Murray State as well.
Matt McMahon in his 2nd season, 4 games under 500. LSU got off to a wonderful start in non-conference play last year, but then, of course, had a great deal of difficulty against SEC competition. Reed takes it down. He collides with the defender. Let's see which way this goes.
They're going to call it a block on the Lions. Good. Getting down there was Alec Woodard trying to get position. He had Wilkinson running on the left side. In fact, Mawani was calling for the alley-oop, but it was Woodard that stepped out to try to force him to make a decision. Maybe a little earlier than he wanted to. Reed decided to keep it and draws the block, so he'll go to the free throw line.
LSU only shot 10 free throws on the road at Syracuse, making 7 of them. But they had been really good getting to the stripe prior to that game, making 118 of 163 free throws. That's 72.4% as a team, and any coach will take that.
LSU's defense can force the Lions into a little more of a set offense. One thing Southeastern wanted to do coming in here was try to set the tone and play a little faster pace. They were able to do it on the first couple of possessions. Let's see if the LSU Tigers can slow them down a bit on defense. Oh, what a beautiful entry pass. Robury did a nice job of blocking out, but you got to give credit to that assist, throwing it away from Big Will Baker, and it led him right to a natural spin to the glass for the easy put-in.
4 points for that young man. And a traveling violation will give it back to Southeastern. The traveling call on the Tigers in the lane against Jalen Reed as he fell down. We have played a little more than 3 minutes, 9 apiece in the early going. Both teams are shooting really well. Southeastern 4 out of 5, LSU 3 out of 4. Williams with a running flush. The backboard is still reverberating, but the Lions bring it quickly down. They can't get a three from the near side.
How about the great hustle by Williams? Not only to get the steal, and then with the huge finish, he then outruns three players back down the floor to get in the defensive position.
That's want to. Shot clock at 10. And they get it low, and with the left hand, working hard against the glass is Alec Woodard. He's got 5.
Woodard just showed nice patience. Looked like he might be stuck in the lane. Wanted to find somebody to bail out with a pass. But then he saw the avenue when Will Baker stepped aside, and he took that one small avenue. It was enough to get him to the glass.
These teams have been going at it hammer and tong in the early going. Will Baker fights his way in, shoots with the right hand, and has the soft hook to go down. The 7-foot graduate student from Austin, Texas, by way of Texas and Nevada. A 52% field goal completion rate over the course of his career, and that was a sweet shot with the offhand. But Southeastern comes right back, and they are getting inside quite frequently on the LSU defense.
We could have some fun if this game could keep the pace they're going right now. I know that's a hard ask, but LSU shooting 83%, Southeastern shooting 86%.
Caldwell saved that last ball. 10 points in the paint for the Lions. Only 6 for LSU at this time. And again, they take it inside, and they are getting there with great frequency. That was Roger McFarland, and he is quite capable of doing that.
And Alec Woodard's had a couple of really nice assists. Looking down there, one was a lead pass over the lane. That time he zips to the baseline, and now a steal for the Lions.
Baker is double teamed and did not feel the man coming from the backside. Eastman with that last steal. They get it low again. Baker defending the kick out. 5 seconds to shoot. Eastman fades, fires over the much taller Reed. That didn't hit anything. It's a shot clock violation. 14:20 to go in the first half, and we'll take a timeout. The Lions are blistering the cords right now and lead LSU by a score of 15-13 in Baton Rouge.
It's the first time all 30 are all in to conquer a brand new bracket in the new NBA Cup. Who's going to be first to take it? It's in-season tournament time. It's NBA on ESPN time.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Oh my gosh.
I know. How is this stuff so good?
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious about flavor?
Family feast, all worries forgotten. Broken fridge with food that is rotten. Holiday cheer for everyone. This blown fuse is no fun. Singing deck the halls. Leak in the walls. Luckily, American Home Shield is there to fix or replace covered parts of appliances and home systems to help you stay on course and budget. Protect what you don't expect. Sign up today at ahs.com.
Coming this weekend, get 10% off Target gift cards with Target Circle. Don't miss it, Saturday and Sunday only. 10% off Target gift cards with Target Circle.
I'm always trying to find an edge, always trying to get better for the next game. UFOS is one of those things I take value in. The quicker you can recover, the quicker you can be back out there playing 100%. UFOS definitely helped me recover faster.
That's Our Move, a new season of women's college hoops on the networks of ESPN.
It's in-season tournament time. It's NBA on ESPN time.
You in the middle of the screen. He's been out for a couple of games now, and he is recovering from a separated shoulder.
Yeah, that's some size LSU could use tonight against the Lions so far, who have 12 of 15 points in the lane. But let's take you back, not to their last game against Syracuse, but the previous game. We had it for you right here. It was at home against North Florida. He comes weak side to try to block a shot, and you can see as soon as he comes down, he felt it. He slapped the backboard going for the block, and when he did, it popped his shoulder out of place. It separated shoulder. You can see he favored it immediately. We watched him run all the way down the floor, then he went straight to the bench Unfortunately, he has not had a chance to practice since then. He's been with the team, but he's not on the floor. We had a chance to say hi to him earlier. So right now, it's still kind of basically day to day. And the unfortunate thing in that North Florida game, yes, LSU won the game, but for Collins personally, his season high was 11 against Mississippi Valley. In that game, he had 9 points on 6 of 8 shooting and was well on his way to surpassing his season high until that incident happened. And he said as soon as he hit the backboard, he knew what had happened.
It is a very painful injury. He is on the road to recovery. We asked him if there was a timetable for return. He said no.
It's definitely something you don't want to rush back, but they will be ready to welcome him back. He's playing some good basketball, and that good 6'9" frame was another one of the bigs who can run the floor.
LSU takes it baseline, now kicks to Williams. He's open from straight away. No good, and the rebound is tipped to Southeastern.
And those are the threes that LSU needs to be able to hit. You swing the ball around, and Mike Williams is standing there wide open. He hit one earlier in the ball game, but those straight-on looks, those are the ones the Tigers need to get to convert.
13:40 to play, first half. Southeastern leading by a bucket over LSU. Woodard gives it up to McFarland. Drop step inside, some contact, and a wild shot offered by Woodard. That one had virtually no chance to go down. Wright on the move, scoops and scores.
Now Jordan Wright comes into the game having sat on the bench for the first 6 minutes, and immediately down the floor off the bad shot by Woodard on the other end, takes it coast to coast.
He had 74 starts at Vanderbilt, did Jordan Wright, before transferring to LSU this year. There is a whistle away from the ball as Wilson was holding it at the top.
And that's going to be on Jordan Wright because he's now battling the big man with Will Baker on the bench. Jordan Wright is going up against Brody Robury. Watch him in the lane as he's trying to get position. They're going to bump once, then you're going to see he's going to shove him out of the way and pulls him back.
Yep.
That's what the official sees, that inside hand, grab the arm and pull him backwards.
A three from the corner is overshot by McFarland. Saved momentarily, but now the LSU Tigers come the other way with it as Ward lopes into front court. Tyrell takes it to the left side. That's where Wright is waiting. They kick it back out. Reed won't shoot it from there, but he puts it on the floor, scoops with the left hand, and drops it in off the window.
Tough for a defender when you see a big man like that with handles, a little crossover dribble, and then he explodes down the lane. And with that long reach, he's able to put the ball in the outside hand and put it up and in.
Carlos Paez in the game. He's got the ball right now. His nickname is Chino. This is Paez with 7 to shoot. 4 to fire. A fader off the window. Good. Sweetly kissed home by McFarland, and he's got 4. 17 each. Reed waiting for a teammate. This is Wright. And a push-off as Reed was dividing defenders near the free throw line. And we'll take a timeout right here. Could it get any closer? The answer is no. 17 apiece. Southeastern and LSU going at it in the first half in Baton Rouge.
When someone is injured by a large truck, Colombo Law is the law firm people call. Hurt by a truck? Call Colombo Law.
Hey man, ever since you tried Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, I feel like you've been a bigger fan of that than the closers.
How could you say that? Ranch time.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serves by flavor.
You're finally mastering Grandma's 12-hour sauce. Your stovetop gave out in the 11th hour. Luckily, American Home Shield is there to fix or replace covered appliances and home systems. Protect what you don't expect. Visit ahs.com and get a free quote today.
There's never been a better time to get away. With a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. Plus America's best warranty and up to 3 years complimentary maintenance. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Now's the time to get in. and get away. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or $2,500 bonus cash on the Hyundai Tucson. Now, during the Hyundai Getaway sales event.
It's the first time all 30 are all in to conquer a brand new bracket in the new NBA Cup. Who's going to be first to take it? It's in-season tournament time. It's NBA on ESPN time.
There's been no separation between these teams in the first half. Both clubs have 17. Victor, let's go back and look at the series history, and there is a bit of trivia here because, as you see, LSU in 14 tries has won 13 of those. The first meeting was 57 years ago today, and Southeastern won that game by 1 point and has not won since. But how about that symmetry, if you will?
Exactly.
57 years ago today.
To the Knights, exactly right. LSU has been in control, and they haven't played in 3 years, but you see the last time they played, it was a dominating win by LSU, who won that ball game by 53. No separation early in this game between these two teams. LSU, before that missed opportunity, shooting 70% from the floor, now 7 of 11 from the floor. Southeastern shooting 67%.
Chino Paez has it, gets rid of it quickly, and cuts through on the left side. This is Wilson. Wilson taking it strong down the lane. Reed is there to reject it, but it's back to Southeastern. 3 ball is up, and a 3 ball is converted by Nick Caldwell. Caldwell has 7 points. He joined the 1,000-point club in the last game for the Lions. And he is about to become the most veteran Lion of all time. He's 2 games behind the record holder, Marlon Veal. We remember him, a cat-quick backcourt player. He played in 132 games, did Veal, during his career. That's the Southeastern record. But Caldwell is in his 130th tonight.
Yeah, when he crossed the 1,000-point career mark, too, it was his very last field goal in what was a dominating win over Southern from New Orleans. And he hit his last shot. That put him over the 1,000-point mark.
Paez misses the 3.
The foul was called on Avery Wilson. You might see on Avery Wilson, number 1 for the Lions, who is a 6'4" graduate guard. He played at Boston College back in the 18-19 season. You think, well, we're in 23-24, so that's quite a while, right? Well, he suffered a horrible knee injury 3 seasons ago. So you got to go back to the 2020 season when he suffered a knee injury, and he has been battling now for 3 years, and you see how heavily bandaged it is. But to his credit, he has fought through the injury. He has shown a lot of patience, and they said he is as healthy as he has been in a long, long while. It's really good to see him back on the floor after what he's gone through.
No question. He is really 1,000 days away from the game and more. Baker was open on the wing, now goes low. Baker clears out. LSU can't get that to go, but gets a fortunate deflection. Baker, 1 dribble, 2 dribbles, 3 dribbles, 4, spins, kicks out, open 3, right side, yes! Inside and then outside, and finished by Jordan Wright.
Yeah, that's a great read there by Baker, knowing that he had one defender who was bodying him up, and as soon as the second Lion came in, he kicked it out to the open man, and Jordan Wright was just standing there waiting.
We've had 8 ties already and just 40 points scored evenly between these teams. The largest lead for both teams has been 3.
Wright needed that 3-pointer for LSU, trying to get going on his outside shooting. That's his 10th make of the season. He's only shooting 28%.
I think we're going to have a blocking foul on Will Baker.
Take another look at it. Watch big number 9 in the white jersey. He kind of sticks his arm out there as well. It's kind of a half block but a half reach in with that left arm going up there and making contact.
By definition, he definitely was not set in order to draw the offensive foul. Well, we've got a wrestling match going on in backcourt. And the possession arrow is going to favor the home team. Tied at 20, 9:35 to go. Victor Howell and Rollins with you. Thank you for spending some time with us. Call a buddy and tell the game's on. Wright dumps it down to Baker. The lefty puts it on the floor once, twice. Makes a big move and draws the foul as he scores. He's got size, he's got power, he's got some mobility, and he's trying to use it against these Lions.
Yep, take a look as he just, again, patiently dribbling, waiting, trying to find an avenue across the lane. He does it with that long reach. He's able to sky hook that one in. It's one of the better things that Baker does in showing that patience in the lane, knowing he's going to get contact.
I used to shoot a hook shot, but it was known as the land hook, not the sky hook. A three-point play the old-fashioned way for Baker. LSU has scored 6 straight points to take a 3-point lead. Tigers trail 20-17. They now lead 23-20. This matches the biggest lead for LSU and Southeastern. Paez finds an open man in the slot, and the little jumper by Woodard is good. Alec Woodard has 7 points. That was a nice, patient setup for Southeastern.
It was, and Woodard should not be that open. LSU had a man that just lost him, and he was just able, number 20, able to just roam his way right into the middle. How about Will Baker then stepping out and hitting a long 3-ball?
Baker shot that one from Port Allen. 26-22.
They're going to count the basket. They're going to call a foul on Trey Hannibal underneath the basket for a collision with one of the Lions, but the shot had been released. So count the bucket for Baker and credit the foul to Trey Hannibal. And that's something that Will Baker needs. You know, we've seen him on a couple of games when he has been Mr. Everything, double-double, Mr. Efficiency all over the floor. But then he's had a couple of games he'd rather forget, and one of those was the last outing against Syracuse. He was just 1 of 5 on the floor and had 3 points and 3 fouls in 16 minutes of action.
Hannibal, Stewart, Wright, Baker, and Fountain on the floor for LSU defensively. Eastman, Paez, Robury, Woodard, and Caldwell for Southeastern. Hannibal got a piece on that as the teams were battling for the rebound. He kept it alive, and it's going to go back to LSU.
Well, Paez, who I know you said his nickname is Chino, had a nice drive there, but probably should have taken that shot off the glass. He tried to float it up and in. A better angle would have been a little backboard shot from about 8 feet.
Baker faces the bucket, tries to back his way in, and loses it out of bounds. Boy, when Baker and Robury start colliding, that's 2 big land masses.
That absolutely is. 2 heavyweights get out of the lane. Watch him trying to make the move. There's a hesitation dribble. Tries to get through. You see he's got his arm kind of caught there with Robury, and that time just lost it out of bounds.
Looks like tectonic plates going against each other. 26-22. This is the biggest lead of the game. LSU on top right now. 8 minutes and a few seconds to go in the first half. That pass was a good idea, but too low for Robury to go down and get. Wright loses it on the other end. The teams gift each other turnovers. Woodard kicks it back. Deep deuce in the air. Rebound bounces all the way out to the key where Baker is there after the miss by Caldwell. And we'll take a timeout right here. 7:40 to go. First half. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the site tonight. LSU 26, Southeastern Louisiana 22 on the SEC ESPN network.
There's never been a better time to get away. With a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. Plus America's best warranty and up to 3 years complimentary maintenance. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Now's the time to get in and get away. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or $2,500 bonus cash on the Hyundai Tucson. Now, during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Oh my gosh.
I know. How is this stuff so good?
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious about flavor.
We've been living it since day one. Glorious, beautiful, true. Nothing held back. All for the love of soccer.
Dinner al fresco. All worries forgotten. Broken fridge with food that is rotten. Birthday cake for everyone. This blown fuse is no fun. Getting him to brush is no longer a chore. The sink is overflowing onto the floor. Luckily, American Home Shield is there to fix or replace covered parts of appliances and home systems to help you stay on course and budget. Protect what you don't expect. Sign up today at ahs.com.
Jimmy, my man up there, we are not going to stop chasing the dream to beat cancer.
You're stronger than you know.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
True South Season 6, Episode 5. From Florida to Arkansas, for neck bones and gorditas and cold, cold beer. True South, Episode 5, Tuesday.
7:40 to go here in the first half. It's been a fun one and a tight one indeed. LSU up by 4, 26-22. Let's take a look at the Lions and where they're getting their points, because with 22 points so far in the first half, 14 have come in the paint. The Lions have found success, and they've had some good passes to get there as well. Here's nice patience up and under for the Lions. Here's another one backing down, a little stutter step high off the glass. But how about 14 of 22 points for the Lions coming in the brown area on the floor, that paint area? And then take a look at this. You add up the other 6 points from three-pointers, they only have one bucket that has not come from either in the paint or behind the outside line. But for LSU, that's got to be a point of concern if they're getting into the lane that often at finding success.
No question about that, and that's a bit surprising as this team from the Southland Conference is getting to point-blank range often against LSU. 10 seconds to shoot for the Lions, trailing by 4. 3-ball up, and the 3-ball rattles out, and a tip, no good. Another tip attempt, no good. But it's controlled by Southeastern.
Caldwell might not get the next bucket here for the Lions, but he better get the credit for keeping that possession alive.
Indeed. LSU was fortunate that the Lions could not convert and get points out of that possession as we slide under the 7-minute mark in the first half. 3-ball up quickly from the left wing, and it misses badly as Carlos Stewart couldn't find it. LSU now is 4 for 8 shooting from out court, which is much, much, much better than recent performances. There's another strong bucket in the paint, and that is just something that LSU has not been able to stop so far. The last bucket by Caldwell. He's got 9. Fountain gives it up to a cutter left side, kicks it back out deeper. 3-ball long. Stewart has missed the last 2.
Yeah, Carlos Stewart has taken 2, and neither one of those have been close. He was playing Santa Clara. He would shoot 40% from deep. But so far this season, shooting just 29%, 5 of 17, now 5 of 19 from three-point land with the 2 misses tonight.
Robury facing the bucket, but Baker right there to thwart him. 6 seconds to shoot. 3-ball on the way, and no. Strong rebound by Hannibal, the little guy, comparatively speaking, with a strong rebound. 5:25 to go. By the way, stick around at halftime. We've got a very interesting guest. Bob Starkey, associate head coach of the women's basketball team at LSU, will be our guest. What a career he's had. Fountain was fouled as he scores with the left hand from the left side. That's his first bucket.
Beautiful bounce pass, too. Watch on the cut. The one-handed bounce pass that splits 3 players, an LSU Tiger and 2 Lions, from Trey Hannibal. And he gets him on the move as Fountain goes up and under.
Robury with the foul. LSU can take a 5-point lead at the free throw line. 5:11 to go in the first half. These Lions have been gritty and very, very good at shooting from short range. LSU coming into this game was 72.4% from the free throw line, and that's very good. This is the largest lead. It's only 5, though, with 5 minutes to play in the first half. This for 3, right side. Baker clears it after the miss by Cam Burton, who had 19 against Southern New Orleans.
Thank you, sir. You take over for a second. I'm going to do a little maintenance here on the floor, okay?
This is not your specialty, though.
No. But I'm gonna get it rigged up here. Hold on a second. I'll tap it, make sure it's working. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's working.
All right, we're good.
Yeah, this is our crowd mic.
I got it.
Well done, sir.
I got it.
We'll get a shot of it a little bit later. Now the real engineer comes over, and there's a real 3-ball thrown in by Roscoe Eastman out of Marietta, Georgia. That's his first bucket of the game. It counts for 3, and all of a sudden these Lions are within a hoop. Here's Williams. He'll take the 3. Got it! 1-3, swapped for another.
And that time he had Cam Burton right up in his grill, and Mike Williams just shot it right over. Good, confident shot.
7 for Williams. 4 minutes to play. They're going to get a foul on LSU. That's Hunter Dean, a 6'10", graduate student from Mandeville, Louisiana. And we'll be back with 3:52 to go in the first half. LSU 32, the Lions of Southeastern 27.
Here's your fantasy football tip of the week, sponsored by Fireball Whiskey. If you've been carrying 2 quarterbacks on your roster throughout the season and one is your consistent starter, once that player's bye week is behind you, drop your backup quarterback. That's an extra roster spot that you can use on a high upside wide receiver or running back. Visit fireballfantasy.com to enter for your chance to win an epic fantasy football party presented by Fireball Whiskey.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Oh my gosh.
I know. How is this stuff so good?
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious about flavor.
Family feast, all worries forgotten. Broken fridge with food that is rotten. Holiday cheer for everyone. This blown fuse is no fun. Singing deck the halls. Leak in the walls. Luckily, American Home Shield is there to fix or replace covered parts of appliances and home systems to help you stay on course and budget. Protect what you don't expect. Sign up today at ahs.com.
We're an unflinching, undeniable force.
Just can't say enough about
My goodness! That's our move. A new season of women's college hoops on the networks of ESPN.
This game has been played in a very narrow first half range. LSU on top, 32-27 against the Southeastern Lions. Victor, this Lions team, really based on what it was returning from last year's nice run at the end, was picked to finish first in the Southland Conference preseason coaches poll. McNeese, New Orleans, Texas A&M, Northwestern State following. And we've already seen Nichols come in this building and beat LSU.
Got a signature win for the Colonels. And look from number 6 up top. Look at all that Louisiana flavor. Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, the only one to kind of sneak in there, messing everything up for all those other Louisiana teams. So Louisiana loaded in top of the Southland Conference preseason poll. Last year, these Lions ended the season under David Kiefer on a 4-game win streak. They had 12 conference wins last year. That was the most since the 2018-2019 season. So you take that, and then you take the players and experience coming back. Don't pay attention to the 2-5 record right now. It's all based on the experience coming back when they get to conference play.
Williams working ahead, sidesteps a defender and lays it in.
Had a little razzle-dazzle to that when he kept it out in one hand and kind of scooped it up and over as he took a hop step past the defender.
He's got 9. And LSU has its biggest lead, 34-27. 3.5 to play.
It's another Tiger who's picked up after a cold game up in Syracuse with just 2 points on 1 of 3 shooting.
Wilson retreats, 4 to fire. 2 to shoot. Little jump hook off right. And they're going to say a shot clock violation. The Lions opened the season with a 90-71 win over Delta State, and then suffered consecutive defeats to Auburn, 86-71, BYU, 105-48, 65-63, the loss to Santa Clara, very close there, and another close loss to Western Michigan, 68-67. Both of those games were winnable by the Lions, and then losing to Tennessee State, 91-77, before walloping Southern New Orleans, 101-55.
2 home games, and now they're playing in Baton Rouge. They'll be back in Baton Rouge in a week to play Southern. Then they go to Ruston, then at Murray State, and won't return to Hammond to play a home game until December 20th. By the way, just a point of reference on that last shot for the Lions. The shot hit the rim. It wasn't a shot clock violation. They actually called a foul on Roger McFarland, number 3. That's why LSU's down shooting free throws.
And Ward converts both. And these last couple of minutes have been profitable for LSU in terms of stretching the small lead. It's now 36-27.
Since the 7:40 mark, Lynn, excuse me, from that timeout, LSU now is on a 14-5 run over the Lions, which is what's allowed them to get this 9-point separation.
And 7 straight points over the last minute and 20 or so. The last tie was 20 apiece. Since then, LSU has 16-7 advantage. A block from behind by the Tigers.
2 blocks on that possession. It looked like Avery Wilson might have gotten a shot across the nose, too.
Hunter Dean with the one that gave LSU the ball.
Dean had his shot blocked by Alec Woodard.
Southeastern would like to close out by stringing 2 or 3 buckets together. Plenty of time to shoot. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the first half.
Well, they started this ball game early, too. 1 of 2 from the 3-point line. They keep wanting to shoot from the outside. Now just 2 of 9 since that fast start
and
both these teams had.
That was Cam Burton on the last bucket. He's got 2 points. The lead is 7 for the Tigers. Wilkinson sets up in the near corner, but now they'll throw it off the shoulder. Unforced turnover as Reed could not control it.
A little too much heat on that pass from Jordan Wright.
And a 3 ball is hammered home by Cam Burton. Cam Burton with back-to-back buckets, 36-32. Here comes the Lions. A 9-point lead has been cut to 4. Mike Williams, kick out left side. And a 3 ball will help LSU a lot. That one coming from Jordan Wright. He's got 8 off the bench.
That's his second of the ball game. LSU now 6 of 12 from behind the lines, for a team that has been struggling woefully as of late from the deep ball, shooting 50% from behind the 3-point line.
And we've got a foul on the floor away from the ball.
It's going to be on Mike Williams underneath with the defender. Got tangled up and sort of one-armed him down to the ground.
If you joined us late, Jordan Wright, who had 7 previous starts for LSU, did not start tonight. But he's come off the bench to provide make it 8 points. Mike Williams has 9. It's Williams, Wilkinson, Wright, Dean, and Reed on the floor defensively for the Tigers. 7 to shoot. Down to 4. Fadeaway jumper, rims out. Dean with a strong rebound. He'll bring it up himself as he brings it across the midcourt line. And LSU will take a timeout with 26 seconds left, 23 on the shot clock, and a time to discuss the final possession. Well, Victor, we talked about it earlier, but for those who have just joined us perhaps, the only win in this series in 14 tries by Southeastern came exactly 57 years ago today, and it was the very first time these teams had ever played basketball against each other. That was in 1966. A 1-point win for the Lions.
13 times since then that they have played. LSU has pretty much had their way with the rest of the series. Wish they played more. We've realized that the first match was 66, and then here we are in 2023, and this is just meeting number 15 when you're separated by, what, 40 minutes?
Right.
45 minutes if there's traffic on I-12. You're right down the road. I'd love to see them match up a little more.
You can even make a Cracklin stop and make it in 40 minutes. You know, all of the games.
Or you're going to Hi-Ho.
Yeah,
you go down there. You got to make one trip to Hammond just to have a team meal at Hi-Ho. Get some barbecue,
well,
right?
exactly. And starting in January, the strawberries will be coming in.
That's right.
By the way, all of the games have been played on this court. Every game between Southeastern and LSU has been here in Baton Rouge. 3-ball long with 8 seconds to go. The ball is on the floor. 5 seconds. Clock still. And finally, they tie it up. The Lions are going to have it with 2.2 seconds to go.
Oh, and the Lions could have had it with about 7 seconds to go, but for 5 seconds, there were bodies rolling all over the floor trying to get possession. Good hustle by everybody trying to get down there, but it did tick off about 5 or 6 seconds off the clock.
Jalen Reed had his hands on it for LSU, and he mimicked an electric worm for, 3-4 seconds at least. A 7-point lead.
See if they look to throw to the big man, who then will distribute it to somebody breaking down the floor. Nope, they go short.
A 60-footer is in the air, and it misses over the backboard, and we are done in the first half. Well, it's been entertaining. The Lions have come to play. LSU leads by 7, but it's been a hard-fought lead.
The paint, but just the sheer size advantage, just looking at it on rosters, and that's why you don't play games on paper. But on paper, it says LSU should have such a size advantage that they should not be allowing that. But it's been defensive breakdowns and the Lions' ability to take advantage of those breakdowns and get to the hoop.
LSU in white, the Lions in green. Williams, Wilkinson, Baker, Reed, and Ward on the floor right now for the Tigers. Eastman, McFarland, Robury, Woodard, and Caldwell for LSU. Opening seconds of the second half. LSU protecting a 7-point lead. 8 seconds to shoot. A foul is called as the Lions used most of the shot clock and finally got the post man to find a teammate cutting down the lane.
Watch the dip pass here by the big man Robury as he sees his teammate cut down. Watch here, back to the basket. He's trying to post up, and watch how he just drops this thing up. Look at this low bounce pass, leads it right to where Caldwell is going, and then draws the foul.
And the free throw's coming from Caldwell.
And then you were mentioning earlier about Caldwell and how he's so close to setting the record, the all-time record. How about this? Since he arrived on the campus in the 2019-20 season, he has played in every game for the Lions, has not missed a contest. You know how rare that is these days in college basketball to have that kind of a record with one team?
He's the Cal Ripken of Southeastern. And you talked about the vacant free throws. There's a 3-ball tossed in by Williams. He started the game hot, and he has started the second half hot. He's got 11. This 3 comes up a little bit short. Deep rebound. It's tipped loose and saved. And a lay-in. Let's give credit first to the defensive effort of Mike Williams. And here comes LSU after another takeaway. For 3. It rattles out.
Well, that would have brought about a timeout from the Lions because trying to go down the floor after that wild sequence for LSU, the Lions had a breakaway and an alley-oop pass for a layup wide open, and Caldwell just had it roll all the way around the rim and out.
Robury is hacked. And a foul called on LSU's Williams. And free throws coming. Well, you mentioned the fact that Southeastern had not offered a free throw in the first half, but they've gotten to the line now here early in the second half. They're trying to cut into a 10-point LSU lead.
Now with 12 points for Williams after that three-pointer that he hit, and then that circus pass to keep the ball alive. But that second three-pointer he hit tonight matches his season-made three-pointers coming into tonight's game. Williams was just 2 of 13 from behind the line, was shooting 15%. Tonight he's 2 of 3.
Robury hits 1 of 2 free throws. Here's Baker. He thought about the 3. 1 dribble, 2. Spins, dips, comes back with the left hand. Misses off the window. The ball tapped around. Baker in the right place at the right time, and that one may have been deflected. And a really strong effort by Caldwell to take the ball away. That's like a ping pong ball in a bathtub.
Bouncing all over, off his ankles, off his legs, and just bounced right back into LSU's hands.
So out of the chaos, LSU gets the 3 ball. And a foul called, an offensive foul called against an LSU player.
Yeah, they called it on Will Baker.
I'll tell you what.
Was away from the ball, but got called for moving into a defender illegally, like an illegal screen.
You folks at home, try to cast your gaze as often as you can on number 9 in white and number 15 in green, Baker and Robury. I mean, these guys are hammering each other every time down the court. Look at this. Look at this. Robury comes up short.
Yeah, and that time Robury tried to dip his shoulder in, give a little separation, just couldn't do it. Baker stood his ground, and what's amazing, with as physical as they are each and every time down the floor, just 3 fouls between them.
Yeah, the officials are letting those guys bang on each other. Reed muscles his way in and switches hands and scores with the left hand.
It's not easy to do when he's muscling like that, to try to change the shot when he went into the air, but he went left, right, and then back left again to get past the defender.
He's got 8. A deep rebound finds its way into Wilkinson's hands. He got the start tonight. Baker able to draw the foul. Robury holds his hands up in exasperation, but it'll be a couple of free throws coming for Baker.
Watch Baker turn around to see where Robury is. He kind of glances. He backs his way out a little bit. 1 dribble, then goes up. And as he's going up, he's jumping backwards a little bit, which allows him to kind of initiate the body contact. That's why Robury was throwing up his hands like, wait a minute, what am I supposed to do? .6'11", 290 is Brody Robury, the sophomore forward out of Meridian, Idaho. Will Baker standing at 7 foot 245.
Baker is a really good free throw shooter. He came into the game at 84.6%.
And to the point of how much they're banging on the inside, how nice is that to know that your big man has that kind of touch? Because while the officials are letting them play tonight, there are games that with this kind of banging, he'll be shooting 8, 10, 12 free throws. Boy, it sure is nice to know that more than 8 out of 10 are going in from your big fella.
No question about it.
That is not leaving points on the floor.
No doubt, and he's 3 for 3 tonight, so that number will go up from this point. It came in at 84.6%. Dean has come in to replace Baker. So Dean will be the designated bruiser against Woodard.
Evidently,
or I should say Robury.
Evidently, during halftime, the Lions decided not to look at the box score and see the success they were having in the paint, because they've abandoned us trying to get into the paint. They're trying to do everything from outside the three-point line.
Reed offers a soft shot and rattles and goes. He's got 7. 50-35. LSU leading by 15 now. It's been a cold start here in the second half for Southeastern. There's contact by Dean, no doubt about that, and going down hard is Roger McFarland. And we'll step aside with free throws coming when we come back. 15:42 to play in the second half. LSU 50, Southeastern 35.
Last holiday season, Kia helped St. Jude Children's Research Hospital by bringing joy to their patients. we took the kids on a magical ride to the North Pole without even leaving the hospital. And this year, we're continuing our tradition of helping by making a donation for every eligible new Kia vehicle purchased or leased during the winter holiday season. Join us and help celebrate Kia's season of giving back. Kia, movement that inspires.
Hey man, ever since you tried Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, I feel like you've been a bigger fan of that than the closers.
How could you say that? Ranch time.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serves by flavor.
Family feast, all worries forgotten. Broken fridge with food that is rotten. Holiday cheer for everyone. This blown fuse is no fun. Singing deck the halls. Leak in the walls. Luckily, American Home Shield is there to fix or replace covered parts of appliances and home systems to help you stay on course and budget. Protect what you don't expect. Sign up today at ahs.com.
Victor, with this graphic on the side of your screen, it really covers a couple of points. Number one, these are the SEC teams right now in the AP Top 25. That's 1 point. So Tennessee, Kentucky, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Alabama, highly regarded at the moment. The other point is each of those teams is on the LSU schedule.
Yes, and you look down at the schedule, LSU will be at Alabama. They'll be at Texas A&M and at Tennessee. Now, Alabama will come here as well, but LSU will visit Kentucky, or I'm sorry, will host Kentucky in February. So at Texas A&M certainly would be a tough one on the road. At Tennessee, you know how tough that can be, but a couple of other big ones will be here in Baton Rouge. You'll have to wait till February to get to it, as Kentucky will roll in end of February on the 21st, and Mississippi State right after that. So back-to-back, they'll be here on the 24th of February.
Roger McFarland will have a couple of free throws coming.
Well, we said coming out of the halftime break that LSU had an advantage of 5 free throws to none for the Lions. If it wasn't for the free throw line here in the first 4.5 minutes of this second half, the Lions would have no points. 0 for 6 from the floor, 0 for 3 from deep, but they're now 4 or 5 from the line, and all of that coming here in the second half.
And I think the point you made just a couple of minutes ago about the Lions, for some reason, forsaking the determined effort they had to get close to the bucket, and were scoring points frequently in the paint and from 2 feet away. They have not been able to do that, or haven't done that so far in the first 4.5 minutes of the second half.
They were running a much better offense early in this ball game, where they were using slip screens and driving through the lane to find openings. Now LSU has adjusted to try to shut some of that down, but it almost looks like they're not even running the offense to make the attempt. They're settling for the outside shot.
Reed tried to keep that missed shot alive. It was Ward who launched the three. We're coming up 5 minutes deep into the second half. This is a very long three, and McFarland rips it home. Roger McFarland has 9.
He was closer to us than he was at the top of the
yes,
key.
He was.
Maybe he heard us talking about it, said, all right, I'm going to shut both of you guys up. I'm going to launch this from about 27 feet.
I think you could have blocked it from here. This for 3. It's a little bit short, bounces over the backboard and out of bounds. And so LSU, with the miss by Ward, has a 10-point lead, 14:44 to go in the second half. We're in Baton Rouge tonight. We'll check some other scores in just a moment from the SEC. We'll wait a few more minutes and get to that as we can. And speaking of that, Victor, Ole Miss and South Carolina are 6-0 in the league right now. Kentucky, Mississippi State 6-1. Auburn is 5-1. Missouri at 6-2, and so is Texas A&M. Alabama 5-2. Arkansas 5-3. Florida and Georgia and LSU and Tennessee are 4-3. And Vanderbilt, 1 game under 500. The only team in the SEC in that category right now is 3 and 4.
There's a long list of teams, and all of them have records over better than 500.
We've got a couple of finals from the SEC. We'll pass them along in just a little bit. Stewart sets up and shoots for 3. Left it short. He's chasing it down and saves it. Williams back to Dean. One strong dribble. Half hook. Good. Dean has not played a lot this year, but he's been active when he's been in the game today.
You know, it's nice to see that he tries to attack the rim in the paint like Will Baker. Just brings in another big body. Now 24 paint points for LSU, so they're just under 50% of their points tonight coming from the paint, 50% outside.
Hunter Dean shifts and prevents the close shot. A 3 ball is up and a 3 ball is in. Ripped home again by Roscoe Eastman. He's got 6.
Now the last 3-pointer, of course, we talked about was from 28 feet away, but that 3-pointer, no problem with it. Why? They made 6 or 7 passes, went all the way around the horn, and had the defense moving, and it's set up for a wide open 3.
Are you ready for the SEC Finals? Georgia beat Mercer by 11, 80-69. And South Carolina handled George Washington 89-67. And speaking of George Washington, that's where Hunter Dean played before he came to LSU.
Love how you tied that in together.
Offensive foul as the defender, Paez, suddenly was bumped out of the way. He was rerouted, and this is going to give a chance for Southeastern to cut the lead to 7, maybe 6. That soft little jumper from near the lane is good by Caldwell.
Chachi, Nick Caldwell's nickname, former Dutchtown Griffin. You know he's excited to have this kind of game tonight. Just, about 15, 20 minutes from his high school down there in Prairieville.
And he's the latest in the 1,000-point club at Southeastern. LSU takes a timeout, 12:51 to go. (52-45). The lead has been cut to 7. LSU still on top of Southeastern on the SEC ESPN network.
Check out Honda certified pre-owned vehicles. They are like new and only available at your local Honda dealer. Checked, inspected, and reconditioned with genuine Honda parts by factory-trained technicians. Honda certified it and backed it with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Certified pre-owned Hondas are in stock now at your local Honda dealer. Drive worry-free with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Honda certified it. Only when you buy at your local Honda dealer.
Hey man, ever since you tried Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, I feel like you've been a bigger fan of that than the closers.
How could you say that? Ranch time.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serves by flavor.
Dinner al fresco. All worries forgotten. Broken fridge with food that is rotten. Birthday cake for everyone. This blown fuse is no fun. Getting him to brush is no longer a chore. The sink is overflowing onto the floor. Luckily, American Home Shield is there to fix or replace covered parts of appliances and home systems to help you stay on course and budget. Protect what you don't expect. Sign up today at ahs.com.
You've earned this, so hold it up high. You're not just a store clerk. You're a line cook, tour guide, and sometimes therapist. A one-person operation that's the heart of a neighborhood. You are a fighter, and this is your reward. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
3 LSU Tigers have scored in double figures to help propel LSU to this 52-45 lead. One of those 3 in double figures is Tyrell Ward.
He has 10 points on 3 of 6 shooting. He's also added 2 3-pointers. Here's one of them here from the left wing, and that one was pure. Then a kick out on the right side wing, showing his accuracy from both. And here's that wild play with the great save by Williams as Ward fills the lane and gets the easy 2 and points to give credit to Williams for keeping that play alive. Tyrell Ward 3 of 6 overall. He's made both of his free throws to get to his 10 points. Has also added 2 blocked shots And it's nice to see his progression. Last year he averaged just under 6 points a game. This year now, coming into tonight, averaging just over 9 points a game. And that's going up as he's sitting with 10 with still 12:45 to go.
He is a 6'6" sophomore from Washington, D.C. That pass intended for Baker is overplayed and intercepted by Caldwell. He anticipated it beautifully.
It's a number now that's starting to become a problem for LSU. 14 turnovers. Southeastern just with 7.
And so coming out of the timeout, LSU is unable to get a shot away and turns it over. Caldwell well defended. 6 to fire. Eastman will put it up from deep. A little bit short. It's off of Baker. He falls down. There is a whistle.
I think he fell down because of the player you're looking at right there, Avery Wilson, number 1. I heard Baker sort of grunt when he went down. Might have sold it a little bit. I didn't see how much of the contact, but it was Wilson that was behind him. And with Baker falling forward, you can imagine Wilson had put a forearm or a shiver into his back and shoved him down. So he draws the foul. Missed opportunity for the Lions, who really didn't get a great shot that time with the clock winding down. Had to take a desperate shot anyway.
Well, what's a shiver among friends, right?
Right.
Baker posting up. Now he has to get out of the way. Hannibal with the short, sweet feed to Baker, and he flushed it.
Great look, great ball movement as Southeastern tried to draw LSU into a half-court trap, but they broke it easily with the cross-court pass. And then a couple of quick passes in the lane led to the dunk.
And that's a dozen by Baker. Right. Pulls it off. LSU trying to speed up the offense. Reverse layup, no good by Hannibal. Baker is there to finish. Baker back-to-back buckets. He's got 14 now. And the big fellow for Southeastern is going to come back in, Brody Robury. 56-45. Tigers by 11. Make it 9. After the jump shot from the left side by Roscoe Eastman out of Marietta, Georgia. That's 8 for him.
Coming into this ball game, in his last 3, he was 9 of 15 from the floor. 3 of 7 tonight with 8 points and 4 assists.
Right dribble is taken away by Wilson. What a block on the other end. Trey Hannibal skying to reject it. Kick out 3. Rims out. Fountain saves it. This for 3. No. LSU with a long but unprofitable possession.
A lot happened there in the last 10 to 12 seconds, and it started with Eastman being a little lazy on his layup approach. As Hannibal skied up to block that shot, started the other way for the Tigers, who had 3 opportunities and just couldn't score.
Seven to shoot. This for 3. Comes up short. Paez gets a piece of the rebound. There's another 3 from the same spot. And this one after the conversion by McFarland. McFarland able to rip it home. He's got 12. LSU's lead is 6 with 9:53 to play here in Baton Rouge on the SEC ESPN Network.
Ever since I tried Hidden Valley Ranch, I finally found what I've been looking for.
Oh my God.
I know. How is this stuff so good?
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serious about flavor.
It's the most wonderful time. Yes, the most wonderful time of the year.
They say there's a first time for everything, and this November proves it. It's the first time all 30 are all in 6 groups where 8 teams advance.
These teams have all the star power
To conquer a brand new bracket.
This is must-see TV
in the new NBA Cup. So the question is, who's going to be first to take it? It's in-season tournament time. It's NBA on ESPN time.
Getting him to brush is no longer a chore. The sink is overflowing onto the floor. Luckily, American Home Shield is there to fix or replace covered parts of appliances and home systems to help you stay on course and budget. Sign up today at ahs.com.
Every time LSU appears to be able to take a comfortable lead, the Lions draw a line in the sand, and they have cut the lead to 56-50 right now with still nearly 10 minutes to play in the game. Will Baker has come alive offensively for the Tigers. He's one of those in double figures. He's going to get back-to-back buckets here in the last couple of minutes.
He has 14 points to lead all scorers in this ball game. Caldwell has 13 for the Lions, but Baker stretching that offense to show that outside range. But this is where he is at his best, in and around the paint. Because of his strength, watch here, powers it up, knowing there might be contact, doesn't draw the foul on that occasion, but still with three bodies around him, able to put it in, and has such a good feel with his back to the basket on where defenders are, either to back them in or take the little baby hook. 14 points on 5 of 8 from the floor, also has 6 rebounds, and again, one of those makes is his only three-pointer of the night.
Robury has re-entered the game, so the Lions' biggest player is guarding the LSU biggest player.
It's going to look like LSU is building a big lead and could possibly start to pull away in the last 5 minutes. It's a 15-6 run for the Lions. That's how they've made this just a 2 3-point field goal game.
That whistle goes against the Lions. And free throws will be coming for Jalen Reed. Reed on the year, pretty good, 74.1%. Looking for his 8th point.
His second miss tonight from the line.
Both teams have 5 team fouls. Both teams have 2 timeouts to use. And the lead is 7. Shot clock at 7. Paez will take the 3. Online but long. It's tipped around and controlled by the Tigers. LSU's Williams taking the deflection.
The Lions set up a little high double screen. It was a staggered double screen for Paez, which is why he got a good look. Just overshot it.
Ward pulls up as he gets to the slot. And the rebound is grabbed easily by McFarland.
And a lot of white jerseys that time outside the paint and almost outside the three-point line. That's why there wasn't a white jersey there for the rebound.
It was an uncontested rebound, and LSU leads by 7. Southeastern can do something about it. Paez dribbles past the high pick, now is cut off, and finds a teammate underneath for a little reverse layup. Well done by Alec Woodard.
And that's because Jalen Reed was looking at the ball, lost his man who went behind him on the baseline, and that's how Woodard was so wide open. Reed didn't even know he cut behind him.
9 for Woodard. The lead is 5 for LSU with 8 minutes to play. LSU is going to get a break on this because the Tigers were out of control offensively. He'll take a timeout and sort it out. 7:59 to go in the second half. LSU 57, Southeastern 52.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Hey man, ever since you tried Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, I feel like you've been a bigger fan of that than the closers.
How could you say that? Ranch time.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only serves my flavor.
The SEC and SEC Network thank our official corporate sponsors for their continued support of our student athletes during every championship season.
They say there's a first time for everything, and this November proves it. It's the first time all 30 are all in. 6 groups where 8 teams advance.
These teams have all the star power
to conquer a brand new bracket.
This is must-see TV
in the new NBA Cup. So the question is, who's going to be first to take it? It's in-season tournament time. It's NBA on ESPN time.
Jimmy, my man up there, we are not going to stop chasing the dream to beat cancer.
You're stronger than you know.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
You're finally mastering Grandma's 12-hour sauce. Your stovetop gave out in the 11th hour. Luckily, American Home Shield is there to fix or replace covered appliances and home systems. Protect what you don't expect. Visit ahs.com and get a free quote today.
Carlos Paez leads all players with 4 assists, and his latest assist is why the Lions from Southeastern are only trailed by 5. Watch as he goes right side of the lane, and look at the beautiful pass into the lane, bounce pass to a wide-open teammate, Woodard. Why was Woodard so open? Because take another look and watch the eyes of Jalen Reed, number 13, right of your screen. You see how he's looking at the ball? Oh, wait a minute, there goes my man. Nice recognition by Woodard to cut behind him. It's no problem with Reed to have an eye on the ball, but you have to also have an eye on your man. That time he didn't. Woodard went back door. Beautiful pass, and that's why the Lions are now within 5.
The Lions started very hot in the first half. They're 20 for 50 now. That's 40%. Meanwhile, LSU is shooting 51.2% from the floor. And you would think the Tigers would have a little bit more of a spread than 5, but that's what it is, 57-52. A chance to open a 6-point lead here, and now 7 as Williams hits the first free throw. These are the first free throws of the night for Mike Williams. He's 1 for 2. So it's a 2-possession game. There was a push-off as the big fellow hit the deck, and that one was pretty obvious. LSU got caught because Baker was out guarding a guard at the top of the key, and LSU was all discombobulated in picking up defenders down low.
And I think they're going to go take a look as to whether or not the shot went up. And we're going to have an official come clarify.
I'm going to let him talk into my mic.
They're going to.
Defensive foul. So we have a defensive foul off the ball. We're going to make sure that the foul didn't occur while the player was in the act of shooting.
Yep, so that's what they're going to take a look at. Did the foul happen before or after the shot went up? The officials looked at each other and they waved it off no. So the call on the floor is no bucket. There you see the big man going down. Now the tough thing with watching it like this, you see the official right there, he's looking to say, is it a foul? Let's see when the arm goes up. Arm is going up with the official on the baseline while he's in the motion of shooting, and there's the official that says no bucket, and they're going to keep the call on the floor. They're going to say no basket.
So after the review, it upheld everything, and rightly so.
But you know, on those bang-bang plays like that, especially if you're a Southeastern Lion, I like the fact that they go to the review. Because that could mean everything. That could be a foul and a bucket, and you're getting the ball again. That could change everything in the game. So
indeed it could.
They did a nice job of reviewing it. They called it right the first time, but no problem with them clarifying it to make sure it's the right call. Unfortunately, they go down there now, and Alec Woodard got the ball in the corner, stepped on the sidelines out of bounds. So after that opportunity, they don't get a shot up. After it went in, but because of the foul, it's a do-over, and now they missed that opportunity. That's a big miss now for the Lions.
Yes, it is.
Just turnover number 8. Sorry, Lynn, turnover number 8 for the Lions.
Which is very economical. That's a
Very
good
much
number.
so. No doubt.
15 turnovers for LSU. And they're going to get the big fellow, Robury, for the foul.
That's his fourth. And what's amazing, watching that, because that happened just to our left. You and I had a clear view of it. These guys have been banging all night long, and that was a quick little trying to reach around the side to slap at the ball, and they called that foul after we've seen them body colliding all night long.
Oh yeah, they've been like freight trains banging on each other. Watch this. This compared to what's been going on, this is nothing.
Now look how their bodies. See, it was that little right hand, it's just a jab, and you see Robury goes, wait, you call that? But they did, and that's his fourth, so he's going to have to go to the bench.
And they have fouled the best free throw shooter on the LSU team.
Now what I'd like to see on LSU side, with Baker out there and their big man with 4 fouls and on the bench, if you're LSU, every time down the floor, you find where number 9 is and you put him on the block. Because they're probably going to go with Chachi. They're going to put Caldwell on him if they stay in a man-to-man. And then instead, Matt McMahon takes out Will Baker. So forget everything I was just saying, and we'll see what happens when he comes back.
16 points for Baker. He's 5 for 5 from the free throw line. It was a good explanation, though.
I thought we were going down a good avenue there. You take advantage with your big man, and their big man is out. But everybody needs a breather, right? Will Baker's taking his right now.
This is a very big possession for Southeastern, even though there's 7 minutes left. And they turn it over. Fountain protecting the dribble. This is Reed. LSU whips it around, and a quick three is in the air, and a quick three is in by Jordan Wright. Jordan Wright, who for the first time in 8 games did not get the start, has 11 off the bench. And Wright will be called for a foul as he was trying to commit larceny on Nick Caldwell.
He leads this team in steals, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast. Coming off the bench, he's been much more efficient. 4 of 7 from the floor, 3 of 5 from three-pointers. That last one he hit, that was his first of the second half. Thought he was going to try to get away with a steal and an easy 2, but they called him for the foul, and you can see he did not like the call at all.
So instead of a turnover, Caldwell will have a chance to cut into the 9-point lead, or 11-point lead. He does not, as he misses the front end of the 1-and-1.
That's his first miss of this ball game. He had hit it first 2, and coming into the season, or coming into the game, was 13 for 17 from the line on the season. That was 6-0 run for LSU in the last 90 seconds.
Offensive foul. A collision down on the baseline. 16 turnovers for the Tigers, only 9 for the Lions.
Let's be on Tyrell Ward. Let's see what he does here. Oh, they see with the arm. It's one thing with the shoulder contact, but every time you take that chicken wing out and you shove that arm away from your body, it looks like it's flailing. They're going to call that 9 out of 10 times offensively. It's one thing to go body to body if you're driving with your shoulder, but as soon as that arm separated and extends, they're going to call you for an offensive foul.
You can hear the tennis shoe squeaking, and a nice scoop rolls across the rim for the rebound save. The kick out for a 3-ball. It's no good. Missed by Burton, but another chance for the Lions.
Caldwell's one of those guys the Lions need to try to find his offense. Just 4 points here in the second half after he led them with 9 points at the break.
This for 3. Nope. Fountain sails high for the rebound. Reed working on the much smaller Paez. Paez batted it loose for the moment. And it's going to stay with LSU. 5:36 to go. 63-52 Tigers.
With that miss, Caldwell now 1 of 5 here in the second half after going 4 of 6 in the first half for those 9 points. And after that 1 minute break or so, a little sip of water. Big fella for LSU comes back in. Will Baker back on the floor. And just like we thought, they're going to put Caldwell up against him. But they have to because Robury's on the bench with 4 fouls.
And there may be some kind of blood on the jersey of Wright. Sean Eddy, the trainer, will tidy things up. Victor Howell, Lynn Rollins with you. We are delighted you have chosen to spend some time with us tonight from Baton Rouge. It has not been a wire-to-wire effort by LSU, but pretty close.
Saw it, by the way, you just saw a quick glimpse. Jordan Wright getting blood off his jersey, but you also saw a quick glimpse of Cam Burton, number 0, who's that freshman guard out of Houston. He was walking off the bench and up the tunnel. official came over to confirm that it was blood on there, but Cam Burton was walking off the bench. He has gone all the way up the tunnel and taken a right into the Lions locker room.
Half the shot clock left for LSU.
Look at that. There's that battle. Hey, we just talked about it. Oh, now the way Matt McMahon just reacted, they might have called that on Will Baker. Let's see.
No, they don't get it on Baker.
Okay, well, the way Matt McMahon was reacting.
Yeah.
This was the battle we just talked about with Robury on the bench. He's 6'5", is Caldwell. He's the one that is battling out there trying to go up against 7-footer and Will Baker. That's where the contact was.
And a quick foul called. And LSU will be shooting 1 and 1.
And on that last possession, they actually called a double foul. They did call one on Will Baker, and they called one on Caldwell.
So Williams will have a 1 and 1 opportunity, the freshman from Baltimore. (63-52) with 5:20 to play. Paez leans over the dribble, brings it up into front court. It's a nice backdoor cut. That's deflected by Wright. Jordan Wright prevented it from getting to the target.
Now, remember a couple of minutes ago we talked about that play on the baseline where you have to keep an eye on your man, and that time Jordan Wright did. The way he's turned, his man cuts, but he still had an eye on where the ball was. When the bounce pass attempt went in, he was able to deflect that out of bounds.
Fountain has replaced Will Baker for the Tigers. And Fountain will guard Nick Caldwell on the throw-in. Paez got in trouble. He got into the air and didn't have anywhere to go with it.
Yep, went baseline, decided to jump instead of keep his dribble, and then got into a lot of trouble.
Right, puts it on the floor. Gets into the lane, falls down, but safely tosses it out to Ward. He'll retreat with 14 on the shot clock. And a reach-in foul called on Roscoe Eastman. He's the smallest player on the court at 5'9", a senior. Free throws coming for Tyrell Ward, looking for points 11 and 12.
That drops LSU on the free throw shooting now to 11 for 16. Just dropped them under 70% with 1 to go. Chance to make it up here.
We're coming up on 4.5 minutes remaining. The lead is 64-52, LSU. Paez is down on the deck. The officials are conferring.
Well, that's and they're conferring and talking about something because one of the officials threw up the X with his hand, so that's not just a common foul. Now they're going to go take a look at this because of the way it was called. And that's one reason for the huddle, and he's signaling to the official scorer as well. So they call a flagrant 1 foul on Tyrell Ward. So that was the brief discussion, but that he'll get 2 free throws and have an opportunity again for the ball after the flagrant foul call.
This is like a technical in effect, right? The penalty.
Yep, but you get the 2 free throws as he gets that to go in. Look, while Paez is at the free throw line, it's a very interesting story. He came from Venezuela, but he got to America through a foundation that was set up by Gravis Vasquez. I had the fortune of covering Vasquez when he played, and I was doing NBA work for the Hornets/Pelicans, and he played in New Orleans. And what a great foundation to help international players to get an opportunity to come to America. And he did. That's how he got to the States, went to Austin Peay, and has since now transferred and plays in Hammond. But I think that's great that he had that opportunity to come, and that's going to be another one. That flagrant foul happened here. Now, Ward is shocked, but he hit him with two hands in the back while Paez was running around and curling off the screen, and the arms extended. So that's going to send him right back to the free throw line for 2 more free throws and possession.
You make the call here, and there's no question that Ward extended his arms.
Just watch the two hands. Look right here, and you see how he pushes them? And the official is standing just off to the right of the screen.
We have a flagrant 1 foul call on the floor. We're going to the monitor to review.
I like that you've thrown in something new for the broadcast. How if they can't tell at home, you're throwing your headset out to the official. What I like is the official wanted to take the headset and put it on. And quite honestly, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, but I asked him if I could have his whistle. He said no. So I mean,
But that's nice that he's at least speaking in the microphone. Everybody can hear what he's saying. But yes, so they're going to go back and review. But what you saw was the extension of the hands as Paez was coming off the curl, and the problem for Ward was that the official was literally standing 10 feet from us and 5 feet from where he pushed him.
KB Burdett is the crew chief, and Wesley Ford and Marquise Pettigrew are his sidekicks. Pettigrew is referee number 2, Ford referee number 1.
So the only way they take this back to just a common foul is if they think that the contact wasn't enough. Now Baez certainly was going down when he got hit, but if they thought that it wasn't enough of a push or a shove to
I'm going to play Audio Man again.
Do it to justify the flagrant. Here we go.
Flagrant 1 penalty is confirmed.
So they're going to confirm the flagrant 1 because of the extension of the hand as he came around the curl. So that'll send him right back to the free throw line. So just a moment ago, it's a 12-point game. You take another look here as he comes off the curl. Watch, keep your eyes on 15. Here's the screen, 2 hands on the back, and then you see right at the end with the little push. That's what knocks him off balance. But he makes this. Now it's going to be an 8-point game. They're going to get the ball again. You're talking about a potentially 7-point play from when you were just down 12, and a second hasn't ticked off the clock.
How was my audio work?
That was great.
Well, the scenario you just described could indeed come true for the Lions as they take advantage of free throw opportunities, and now another possession, and it's 64-56.
They have not been very good in this second half from the three-point line, not for a lack of trying, but should they hit one here, you're talking about a 7-point play. All of a sudden you're down 5, and the clock just started moving.
It was a late pass and a good catch, and Paez for 3.
And he got fouled. That's 3 free throws. This is becoming a Paez possession. Flagrant foul goes to the free throw line. Flagrant foul back to the free throw line. 3-point attempt miss, gets fouled. Now 3 free throws coming for Paez. Let's take another look again. Paez is set up. And they called that again on Ward. Look at Ward's reaction. Are you kidding me? So that quickly becomes 4 fouls on Ward. And in case you're wondering, too, you could see Ward clearly did not jump for the ball. He wasn't anywhere close to him on the shot attempt. Where that foul was called was at the very end as Paez was coming down, Ward encroaching on his space. Now, Paez might have sold it a little bit, but that's where the foul was called. It wasn't on the arm. It was when he came down to land.
And after all these free throws are done, it could be a 5-point lead for LSU. And it was a dozen just a few seconds ago.
It's a 7-point possession for Paez by himself, who, by the way, when you've talked about fouling the wrong guys for LSU, Paez coming into this ball game was 16 for 20 on the season at the free throw line. He's 6 for 6 right now. And it's happened in the last 12 seconds.
So he's 22 for 26.
How about that? Now can LSU overcome self-inflicted wounds here that's now allowed this to become a 5-point game and get a couple of big buckets to get some more difference between them and the Lions on the scoreboard.
So after all was said and done, that was 7 consecutive free throws for the Lions, right?
Yes, in 12 seconds. Clock wasn't moving until his 3-point attempt.
Williams penetrates, he's cut off. 4 to shoot. Here come the Lions, and they trail only by 5. 64-59, 3:40 to go. This is McFarland. You generally want the ball in his hands during clutch time. And look at the little guard get underneath. That's Roscoe Eastman, a 5'9", 150-pounder, and he makes this a 3-point game.
And to go baseline and find enough space going baseline to use that right hand on a baseline angle and then still be able to use the glass to get it up and in. Matt McMahon can no longer wait for a dead ball and a media timeout. He took the timeout himself.
Oh, boy. Hang on to your chairs. Buckle those seatbelts. It's 64-61. LSU leading only by 3 with 3:14 to go.
You have to have a dream, a goal. You have to be willing to work for it.
We are not going to stop chasing the dream. We can't.
You look up not giving up in the dictionary, a picture of my wife would be there.
You're one of the strong ones, okay? Just remember that.
You're stronger.
My dad would be so thankful for all of the lives that have been saved.
Hey man, ever since you tried Zesty Hidden Valley Ranch, I feel like you've been a bigger fan of that than the closers.
How could you say that? Ranch time.
Hidden Valley Ranch.
Only taste my flavor.
True South Season 6, Episode 5. From Florida to Arkansas, for neck bones and gorditas and cold, cold beer. True South, Episode 5, Tuesday.
Dinner al fresco. All worries forgotten. Broken fridge with food that is rotten. Birthday cake for everyone. This blown fuse is no fun. Getting him to brush is no longer a chore. The sink is overflowing onto the floor. Luckily, American Home Shield is there to fix or replace covered parts of appliances and home systems to help you stay on course and budget. Protect what you don't expect. Sign up today at ahs.com.
Just 1 minute and 12 seconds ago, this was a 12-point lead for LSU, but after 7 consecutive free throws from Carlos Paez, and then the latest layup we're about to show you from Roscoe Eastman, the Lions from Southeastern are in a huddle. They're talking about how to win this game. Here's your last bucket, and watch how Eastman dribbles outside hand away from Mike Williams, but then uses his speed down the left baseline to get the ball into his shooting hand, the right hand, and off the glass on a tough angle. Will Baker jumping, but he just doesn't slide over to help out, to cut him off. And you talked about Eastman's size. Yeah, he's 5'9", 150, but you know what that means? He's quick. And he used the speed to get around Williams, who couldn't cut him off, gets it up off the glass, and here we are. You know, Lynn, these are the type of games for head coach Matt McMahon. He doesn't want to talk about it right now, but when they look back, this is a team that had Nichols in the game till the end, who won at the very end. Remember, they went to Charleston. They had a big lead on Dayton, wound up losing that game by 3, but then turned around and gutted one out against North Texas and Wake Forest. This is where you're going to learn about some of the character of your team. Can LSU, after what's happened over the last minute, put it together and defend their home court and get this win?
Free throws will be coming for the Tigers, who not too long ago had a 50-35 lead, and that has all but evaporated.
And that foul was called on the big man, Roberry, who just came back into the ball game. That is number 5. So we have been keeping an eye on how he and big Will Baker have been battling all night long. That's going to come to an end. He finishes with 5 points on 2 of 4 shooting in his 5 fouls. But I tell you, that doesn't begin to tell the story of what he's been doing in the paint tonight, battling with Baker.
Jordan Wright converts the first one. Both teams are in the double bonus. Baker battling for it. The ball is loose and picked up by the Lions. It's grabbed by McFarland.
Baker almost got that because he was taking advantage of Caldwell now on the inside with Roberry on the bench. He's got a 7-inch height advantage there, but wasn't able to keep it alive for the Tigers.
The lead is 4 for LSU with 2:45 to go in Baton Rouge against the Southland Conference team, Southeastern Louisiana. And there is a grave mistake, as it appeared that Alec Woodard stepped on the sideline.
And that's the second time in this half he's done that in front of his own bench, coming out on the wing, but peeling out too far to the sideline, and he stepped on the sideline out of bounds.
And that's just an unforced error. There was little pressure, if any.
LSU, the only points they've had from the free throw line, no field goals now in 4.5 minutes. And look at 4 white jerseys all standing on the outside, not a lot of motion at all.
Williams takes the 3, and a foul on Baker as he sent
Caldwell,
his opponent, to the floor. Yeah, that's Caldwell, and 4 fouls on Baker.
Yeah, Caldwell, and we talked about him, Chachi from Prairieville, played at touchdown. He's coming home, close to home. Look at the battle on the inside. He hits the floor hard. But when Robury has not been in the game, and obviously he's done for the night now with 5 fouls, but earlier in the game when he would go to the bench, Caldwell has taken on the challenge of going up against Will Baker. And as we know, that is not an easy challenge.
Oh, no.
And he still leads the Lions in scoring with 13 points. He's only had 4 points in this second half. He was sitting at 9, leading the way at halftime. I think we just found the Chachi Caldwell cheering squad.
I think
from
so.
Just down the road in Prairieville. They're just to my right.
And he calmly drops both free throws. We've got a 2-point game with 2:19 to go. Does this Lions team start to believe? I think so, don't you?
I think they started believing about 2 minutes ago when LSU was hurting itself with foul after foul. That's coming to us.
An unforced error in front court, and now the Lions can take the lead for the first time since the very early seconds of the game.
We talked about turnovers earlier, about LSU being a problem. That's now 17 turnovers for the Tigers. The Lions have not taken advantage of all those turnovers, just 10 points off of turnovers, but these could be the 2 or 3 biggest off of an LSU turnover tonight.
McFarland can't shoot from the baseline. Paez nods to a teammate to set a pick. They almost run into each other. A very deep 3. Ball tipped around and controlled by LSU's Reed.
Well, and much like what LSU did on the last offensive possession, 5 green jerseys all spread out behind the three-point line, nowhere close to the paint when you've had so much success driving the lane in motion. No motion that time for the Lions on offense.
And Caldwell tried to convert a 24, maybe 25-footer. This skids across the rim. Baker got a hand on it, tipped out to Williams. Baker wants it back. Baker's got it. He could have spun to his left. He's fouled by Paez, who tried to sneak in from the opposite side and steal it away.
And you saw Baker was setting up. He's so good at getting a feel for a defender using his backside. He likes to back in. That's where he's strongest. Now look, quick turn to see where Caldwell is, and he wanted to go spin to his left. You see how Caldwell was shadowing him, but that time Paez came in looking for the quick steal and running the other direction and hit him on the wrist.
Baker has not missed a free throw tonight. He continues that string. He's 6 for 6 now. Looking for point number 18 and a 4-point lead for the Tigers. Boy, he's good at the line, isn't he?
Beautiful free throw motion and stroke, follow through. You can see the rotation on that ball.
Baker 7 for 7 at the stripe, and LSU needs every one of them. 1:14 to play. The Lions take a timeout. LSU clinging to a 4-point lead.
Hey, if LSU holds on to win this game, they're going to go back and say, thank goodness we focused at the free throw line, because you're holding on to a 4-point lead with 1:14 to go, and you haven't hit a field goal on your home floor in the last 5:42. And they're getting ready to have possession, so you're going to go more than 6 minutes without a field goal, yet you're still holding on to a 4-point lead, because when you've been given the opportunity to go to the free throw line, you've hit them. And for the Lions, remember the last couple possessions, Woodard, far sideline, steps out of bounds. Last possession, 24-foot three-pointer with no motion. Boy, just those little things add up, don't they?
Ward and Baker each have 4 fouls. Wright and Williams each have 3. And your point is so well made, Victor, when you can go that long without a field goal at the end of a game, well over 5 minutes without scoring from the field, and you're still holding on, and it's been because of those free throw opportunities and the conversion of those. And LSU 15 of 21 from the stripe. With Baker leading the way, he's 7 for 7.
And they've hit 10 of those 15 free throws here in the second half. Look at just 8 made field goals in this half. 8 for 22 is LSU from the floor. 7 of 22 are the Lions. So either one of these teams tearing it up on the offensive end.
74 seconds remain.
So what's the decision? Who makes the right decision for the Lions to convert, or who makes the wrong decision and forces something up? Let's find out what they were discussing.
A three from the left side, almost banked in. Ball tipped around, controlled by the team in white. Williams has it.
I just think bank shot three-pointer was not what was drawn up in the huddle. I'm going to go on a limb and say that that wasn't what was called.
And a reach-in foul, a wraparound by Eastman. Tried to flick it away after the dribbler went by him. And free throws coming for the Tigers with 53.7 seconds to play. I'll tell you what, the Lions may not win this game, and LSU trying to hold on without having a field goal in the last 6 minutes. Yes, you heard correctly. So we'll see what Williams does here, but give the Lions one heck of a lot of credit, Victor. They have come, they've played hard. It hadn't been pretty sometimes. They've had their own droughts, they've had their own problems, but my goodness, this is a scrappy team out of the Southland Conference.
Well, you can see why the coaches voted them, and it was a very close vote. Preseason Southland Conference that they edged out McNeese as the team to beat in the Southland Conference.
The Tigers by 6. They're going to have to launch threes.
Yeah, now they're trying to set it up for that.
Good cross-court pass, and a three ball from the right side will not go, and that may be the end of the effort as Woodard couldn't get it. And there will be free throws coming with 36.5 seconds to go, and LSU could come closer to putting salt on the meat.
LSU's big man and the game's leading scorer headed back to the free throw line where he's 7 for 7 on the night and playing with 4 fouls.
That makes him 29 for 33 on the year.
And there's the miss. 36 seconds left in this ball game. If the Lions go down and miss the field goal, and you would expect LSU to dribble it out, they are going to go the last 6:57 in this ball game without a field goal, and they're going to win.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Well, there's a three, and things get a little dicey, don't they? Nick Caldwell.
And right after the shot, somebody went down for LSU. It looks like it's Jalen Reed.
He's down on his belly.
And he's holding his chest like he took a shot, maybe with an elbow. Maybe somebody was running in. I didn't see it. I was actually watching Caldwell's release and then how fast the Lions wanted to call timeout, but Reed just flat out hit the deck.
And it was serious enough that the Southeastern Louisiana trainer came out to see him first. And of course, LSU, there's Sean Eddy and Coach McMahon. They had to come from the other side of the court.
Well, let's take a look. Jalen Reed's on the right side of your screen. He's looking to block out a man. Oh, it looks like he took a little forearm shiver there. That looks like maybe Woodard, number 20. Looking to see, yes, Woodard. Looked like when he was coming in and Reed was turning around to block him out, looks like he took a little forearm shot right there in the chest. Maybe lost the wind for just a second.
.3 seconds remain. And it's a three-point game again.
I think the officials are like us. They were like, we were watching the shot in the timeout. They wanted to see why he went down in a heap. They're going to take a look at it and just make sure that it wasn't a flagrant forearm that was thrown into Reed when he went down and hit the deck. How big could this be when we just saw 4 minutes ago game time, when we just saw LSU have a flagrant foul, then a flagrant foul, then a foul on a three-pointer. The Lions cut this to 3 on that made three-pointer. How tragic would it be for them if all of a sudden Woodard's going to get called for a flagrant, throwing a forearm into Reed's chest?
Mike Williams has a season high with 15 points, 4 assists, also season's best, and 4 rebounds. So a good all-around game for him.
Keep your eye on the right of your screen. The man in the corner in the green jersey, that's Woodard. He's going to come run in. Here comes the contact right there. You see, at first, Reed has his arms up like he's going to try to go position him, and then all of a sudden he just goes down. It's not a great look, so it's tough to see. Was it a punch? Was it an incidental with the forearm? I don't know that you can see enough from that angle to see if it was flagrant or if it was just incidental while he was turning. But however he got hit, it certainly got Reed's attention because he immediately doubled over and went to the floor.
So far, they have not checked the bench for brass knuckles.
And there was no call on the floor for a foul. There was the made three-pointer in the corner by Caldwell, and then the immediate timeout. So this could be a very impactful call if they decide that they see enough there to call a foul on him.
So LSU trying to hold on despite not having a field goal in the last, 6 minutes plus.
Yep. It's been 6 minutes and 20 some odd seconds right now. 6:27. The officials just looked at us and waved like an official in football. No good on the field goal. They went
there. Sorry, it took so long. We're waiting on that last angle.
Thank you very much. You said waiting on the last angle. They wanted to see all angles, but they said there wasn't anything there. There was no foul called initially, so no foul added. It's just a made three-pointer. LSU ball out of bounds on the baseline.
Now, if you're Southeastern, do you foul quickly?
If you do, it better not be to Will Baker.
That's
if you're LSU,
true.
You better get the ball in Baker's hands. He hasn't missed he missed one tonight.
Well, he just missed his last two, didn't he?
Oh, he was his two. You're right. So 7 for 9 now. You're right.
But you're right. He is the best free throw shooter for the Tigers by far.
Jordan Wright got fouled coming into tonight's game. He's 75% on the season, which is very acceptable. And he's 1 for 2 at the line tonight. So just needs one to once again make it a two-possession game, rather.
26.8 seconds to go. Don't let the dog out for the night quite yet. That is a big free throw from Jordan Wright. 13 points. Remember, Wright came off the bench tonight for the first time after 7 consecutive starts.
Now, if you're the Lions and you get a look at a quick layup, an easy lane to the basket, I'd take the 2. There's still 27 seconds left, and then you can foul again. But if you try to set it up and heave up a desperation 3, you almost eliminate yourself from the game.
The Lions save it. And a huge rebound by Jordan Wright as he came sailing in and claimed it with authority. So the Lions with a couple of opportunities, but neither one of them went down, and now LSU is getting closer with a 5-point lead right now. 14.4 seconds to go. Tigers getting closer to their 5th win of the year.
Well, Wright just hit his last 2. If he hits 2 more, he'll salt this thing away because that'll put you up by 7 with 14 seconds to go. Really now for the Lions, the only chance is that he misses at least 1, if not both, and you go down and heave up a 3 and hit it quickly. But with a stroke like that and confidence, he might put this baby to bed right now. As Lynn mentioned, he didn't get the start tonight, but 14 points on 4 of 8 shooting, 4 rebounds, with still 1 free throw to go. A lot more productive and efficient play for Jordan Wright tonight, which is what Matt McMahon and company were looking for.
He's got a season's high 16. That's Jordan Wright. Paez leaps and fires, and that misses badly. 1 second to play. This game is over. A hard-fought victory for the LSU Tigers as these Lions out of the Southland Conference come